स्टूडेंट CS602 के मिड टर्म के पेपर की आपकी तैयारी के लिए MCQs लेकर हाजिर हैं। स्टूडेंट चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें, वीडियो को लाइक करें। तो चलें स्टार्ट करते हैं। नंबर 1 क्वेश्चन है, इंटरलेसिंग द हॉरिजॉन्टल रिफ्रेश डैश fools the human eye into thinking the horizontal refresh rate is faster. Number 2 question, it is safe to assume that all raster type monitors can accept the same input. False. Next question, both boundary filling and flood filling algorithms are non-recursive techniques. False. When defining a mesh of triangles that define the boundary of a solid, you set it up so that all of the triangles along the skin are ordered dash clockwise when viewed from the outside. We cannot explain a relationship between x, y and x coordinate using the left hand rule. True. A dash is a set of all points x, y that are all the same distance from the directrix and focus not on the directrix. Parabola answer is इसका. Next question, rotating a point requires that you know the coordinates for the point and also know the rotation angles. True. The boundary fill method requires the coordinates of starting point. Both boundary filling and flood filling algorithms are better than scan line filling algorithms. Discard a line with both endpoints outside clipping boundaries is called as trivial reject. Because clipping against one edge is independent of all others, so it is impossible to arrange the clipping stages in a pipeline. False. If the polygons are filled, line clipping techniques are sufficient to clip it. False. According to the architecture of raster graphics system, display processor memory will act as system memory. In video context memory, dash are used to display character. 2 bytes are used to display character. Various curve functions are useful in object modeling. Dash transformation produces shape distortion as if objects are composed of layers that are caused to slide over each other. Shear transformations. In dash, projection lines which are perpendicular to the projection plane are projected at dash cabinet. In cabinet projection, projected at half length. The projection technique has a direction of projection perpendicular to the viewing plane and viewing direction is perpendicular to one of the principal faces. Orthographic parallel projection. First step of triangle is to be able to render a solid filled triangle. Computer graphics are used in तीनों में, गेम डेवलपमेंट, मूवी डेवलपमेंट, सिमुलेशन, तीनों में यूज होते हैं. Monochrome adapter is a single color adapter. True. We cannot explain relationship between x, y, x coordinate using left hand rule. True. The last column of an affine transform matrix does not affect vectors. True. Plasma panel displays use a gas mixture and phosphorus coating for showing display. False. X square divided by a square minus y square divided by b square is equal to 1 is an equation of hyperbola. There are dash basic types of polygon. There are 3 basic types of polygon. Dash polygons are basically concave polygons that may have self-intersecting edges. Complex polygons. The actual filling process is boundary filling algorithm begins when a point inside the boundary of the figure is selected. The trivial acceptance reject test, there are 4 bits of 9 regions. Bit 1 represents condition dash outside half plane, a top edge above top edge y is greater than y max. Polygon consisting of dash can cause problem when rendering. Non-coplanar vertices can cause problems. The homogeneous coordinates of 3D translation can be expressed as P is equal to T, Tx, Ty, Tz to P dot P. Dash is the tendency of the text to flash as it moves up or down. Flickering is the tendency. Dash is a flurry of bright dots that can appear anywhere on the screen. Snow effect. Snow effect is a flurry of bright dots. In video text memory, dash are used to display a character 2 bytes. In dash algorithm, in flood fill algorithm, old color must be read before it is invoked. In dash transformation, one coordinate is held fixed and other coordinates are shifted. In shear transformation, the dot product of two vectors A and B is uh, greater than 0 if the angle between them is less than 90 or greater than 270. In dash projection, all lines perpendicular to the projection plane are projected with no change in length. Cavalier projection. First step of the triangle rasterization is to be able to render a solid filled triangle. If the value of scaling factor Sx and Sy is greater than 1, then the size of the object will be ये चारों ही ऑप्शन इनमें से कोई भी नहीं है none of the given. नेक्स्ट फाइल पे चलते हैं स्टूडेंट. दिस फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है डैश इज द पॉइंट विच मेक द कोड सिंपलर एंड ऑल द अदर पॉइंट इज टेकन फ्रॉम दिस पॉइंट. पिवट इज अ पॉइंट. नंबर 2 है कंप्यूटर ग्राफिक एप्लीकेशन कैन बी फाउंड इन ऑलमोस्ट ऑल इज एरियाज एक्सेप्ट मल्टी थ्रेडिंग. Twice the radius of circle is called as diameter. Dash are the fundamental geometric entities within a given data structure. Primitives are the fundamental. Plasma panel displays use a gas mixture and phosphorus coating for showing display true. In dash polygon filling technique, answer है boundary. In boundary polygon filling technique, the filling is done from interior point towards boundary. In right hand rule, Z negative is beyond the region and positive behind it. Matrix condition can be done if two matrices have the same number of rows and columns. Dash of a matrix are the new matrix whose rows are the columns of the original. Transpose of a matrix. In perspective projection for correct view, Z axis should pass through the middle of the screen. In translation, every point the object is translated by the same amount. And dash algorithm make calculation for an octant of a circle area and draw the whole circle. Polar coordinates algorithm. This projection technique has a direction of projection perpendicular to the viewing direction is perpendicular to one of the principal faces. Oblique parallel projection. The mirror image for a 2D reflection is generated by rotating the object dash 180 degree about the reflexive axis. The ordering of vertices goes clockwise in a triangle. Next question है, in mode 3 each panel occupies 2 bytes in BDU memory. Translation moves objects without deformation. Drawing a Gaurod triangle, we add only 2 parts to the flat triangle. Dash was first person who studied the ellipse. Mcq'S. अगर मैं सॉरी अगर गलत पढ़ रहा हूँ तो Mcq'S. Dash is the set of points that are equidistant from its origin. Circle. 3 or more points that lie on the same line are called collinear. Monochrome adapter can display only text. In Sutherland Hogman polygon clipping algorithm, what will be saved for only inside visible endpoint. In raster scan system, electron beam draw a line from left to right and then back to left and draw next line. That effect is known as horizontal retrace. In dash projection, in isometric projection, the direction of projection make equal angles with all 3 principal axes. Monochrome adapter is a single color adapter. True, we can explain the relationship between x, y, z coordinate using left hand rule. False, the last column of an affine transform matrix does not affect vector. True, plasma panel displays use a gas mixture and phosphorus coating for showing display. False. A square x square divided by a square minus y square divided by b square. 1 is the equation of hyperbola. There are three types of polygons. Dash polygons are basically concave polygons. Complex polygons are basically concave polygons. The actual filling process in boundary filling algorithm begins when a point inside the boundary of the figure is selected. In trivial acceptance reject test, there are 4 bits of 9 regions. Bit 1 represents condition outside half plane or top edge, above top edge, y greater than y max. In trivial acceptance reject test, there are 4 bits of 9 regions. Bit 2 represents condition outside half plane or bottom edge, below bottom edge, y is less than y min. In trivial acceptance reject test, the 4 bits of 9 regions. Bit 3 represent condition outside half plane or right edge, right of right edge x greater than x max. In trivial acceptance reject test, there are 4 bits of 9 regions. Bit 4 represents outside half plane of left edge, left of left edge x is greater less than x min. Polygon consistent non-coplanar can cause problem when rendering. The homogeneous coordinates of 3D translation can be expressed as p is equal to t, tx, ty, tz into p. Dash is the tendency of the text to flash as it moves up or down. Flickering is the tendency. Dash is the flurry bright. Snow effect is the flurry bright dots. In video text memory, 2 bytes are used to display characters. In dash flood fill algorithm, old color must be read before it is invoked. In shear transformation, one coordinate is held fixed and the other coordinates are shifted. The dot operator 2 vector and v is greater than 0 if the triangle between is less than 90 or greater than 270. In Cavalier projection, all lines perpendicular to the projection plane are projected with no change in length. First step of triangle rasterization is to be able to render the solid field. If the value of a scaling factors Sx and Sy is greater than 1, then size of object will be enlarged. Interlacing the horizontal refresh fools the human eye into thinking the horizontal refresh rate is faster. It is safe to assume that all raster type monitors can accept the same input. False. Both boundary filling and flood filling algorithms are non-recursive techniques. False. When defining a mesh of triangles and defining the boundary of a solid, use set it up so that all of the triangles along the skin are ordered clockwise when viewed from the outside. We cannot explain the relationship between x, y, z coordinate using left-hand rule. True. Dash is a set of all points xy that are the same distance from the directrix. I focus not on the directrix parabola. The parabola is a set of all points. Rotating a point requires that you know the coordinates of the point and also know the rotation angles. True. The boundary fill method requires the coordinates of starting point, filling a color, boundary color, all of the तीनों ऑप्शन है इसके. Both boundary filling and flood filling algorithm are better than scan line filling algorithm. Discard a line that both endpoints outside clipping boundaries is called trivial reject. Because next question is because clipping against the one edge is independent of all other, so it is impossible to arrange the clipping stages in a pipeline. False. If the polygons are filled, line clipping techniques are sufficient to clip it. False. According to the architecture of raster graphic system, display processor memory will act as system memory. Various curve functions are useful in तीनों ऑप्शन all of the ऑब्जेक्ट मॉडलिंग में ग्राफिक एप्लीकेशन एनिमेशन पाथ स्पेसिफिकेशन भी है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है डैश ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन प्रोड्यूस शेप डिस्टॉर्शंस. shear transformation produces shape distortions. In dash projection, in cabinet projection, lines which are perpendicular to the projection plane are projected at half length. This projection technique has the direction of projection perpendicular to viewing plane and viewing direction is perpendicular to one of the principal faces. Orthographic parallel projection. Computer graphics are used in all of the given तीनों में, game development, simulation, movie development. एक्स स्क्वायर डिवाइड बाई आई स्क्वायर, ये दोबारा रिपीट हो जाए, इक्वेशन ऑफ इक्लिप्स, ये इक्वेशन ऑफ इक्लिप्स है, इसमें प्लस का साइन है। A straight line can be moved to another location by applying to each of the line endpoints, redrawing the line between the new coordinates। ट्रांसलेशन है इसका आंसर। बाउंड्री फिलिंग एल्गोरिथम कैन नॉट वर्क फॉर, तीनों के लिए, कन्वेक्स, कनकेव, कम्प्लेक्स, ऑल ऑफ द गिवन, तीनों के लिए कैन नॉट वर्क करेगी वो तीन। टू मूव ए डैश फ्रॉम वन लोकेशन टू अनदर वी ट्रांसलेट द सेंटर सर्कल। टू मूव ए सर्कल फ्रॉम वन लोकेशन टू अनदर वी ट्रांसलेट द सेंटर। फॉर मॉडिफाइंग ऑब्जेक्ट शेप, shearing transformation can be used। The boundary fill method required all of the given, तीनों आंसर। coordinates of starting point भी, filling color भी, boundary color भी। In two transformation, two successive rotation applied to a point P can be denoted as P dash R into Q1 theta 1 plus theta 2 into P। अच्छा, we can draw 8 points corresponding to each xy point in circle in drawing circle algorithm। If a line connecting any two points within a polygon does not intersect any edge, then it will be a convex polygon। A column matrix is known as column vector because clipping against one edge is independent of all others, so it is possible to arrange the clipping stages in pipelines। We can explain the relationship between x, y, z coordinates using right hand rule। The homogeneous coordinates of 3D translation can be expressed as p is equal to t and t, ये दोबारा repeat हुआ है। A dash system or frames is an affine Euclidean vector space, a coordinate system। A three-dimensional reflection can be performed related to a selected reflection axis, a three reflection axis। ये स्टूडेंट आज का आपका था मिड टर्म की तैयारी के लिए CS602 की। वीडियो को अगर पसंद आए लाइक करें, चैनल सब्सक्राइब करें। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।